it is Thursday, as we say. This, you know what that means, or maybe you don't because it's not our usual time slot, but it's Jose Gonzalez. It is JPJ. Dynamite came and went last night. It was a 3-hour show. Unfortunately, us having shoot jobs doesn't always coincide with a late night episode, but
Mhm.
it is go home week. It is WrestleDream weekend. So we're bringing you a special happy hour edition, is what I'm going to call it, of DynaMic'd Up. JPJ, how the hell are you?
I am well. I am well. Yeah, rare Thursday appearance for us, but I am doing very well. Very excited to chat this pay-per-view. Very excited for the pay-per-view. Yeah, man, I'm feeling good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I mean, kind of crazy that we aren't live yesterday and we end up getting some breaking news as of today with everything going on. I mean, do you want to talk about it? I could definitely bring it up.
Yeah, bring it up if you would like. Yeah, I mean, we can
Okay,
chat.
so yeah, so for those that didn't catch the wind of social media earlier today, we kind of know what's going on with Andrade a little bit better now. So what ended up happening was when he made his return to AEW, I guess whatever happened at the time, we all thought that he didn't have a 90-day compete or no compete with WWE since he was terminated,
Hmm.
not really released. But it's turning out that not only did he have that 90-day no compete, even though he was unpaid for that time period, him appearing on Dynamite and getting those indie bookings apparently breached the contract. So I know Wrestling Observer had stated some things earlier, but Fightful Select actually did get the specific contract language. So the clause that they were talking about is actually as stated here. So upon termination of this agreement by promoter for breach of terms hereof, wrestler shall not work, appear, or perform in any capacity for any professional wrestling, sports entertainment, mixed martial arts, and or ultimate fighting organization, promotion, or entity not owned or controlled by promoter or any affiliated or subsidiary company thereof in the United States for a period of up to 1 year from the date of such expiration or termination, as specified by the promoter in the notice of termination, provided, however, that if no lesser period is specified by promoter in the notice of termination, such period shall be 1 year. And another follow-up that says, in no circumstances whatsoever shall either party to this agreement be liable to the other party for any punitive or exemplary damages, and all such damages, whether arising out of the breach of this agreement or otherwise, are expressly waived. So basically that just means that if he tried to pursue this in court, the case is going to get thrown out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's tough because we were all laughing about it of how quickly he made the jump back to AEW and he's going to get thrown in there with Kenny Omega, and it's like, oh damn, all right, this is maybe it's going to be different this time around, and now all of a sudden it's like who's again like did Andrade just say F it? And he was like, you know what? Like, or did now it's like, did AEW know? Did Andrade tell them he didn't have a no compete and they would just believed him and brought him in? Or did AEW not look into this? So now it's just kind of a mess.
I think
It's a
it's also the
mess.
fact that this is one of the first times since TKO took over WWE that we're running into something where not only is the legalese like all very like diabolically calculated to think of quite literally any loophole that they could have thought of, but it's
Mm-hmm.
the fact that we're also not dealing with a traditional release in the sense where they're going to be paid for those 90 days of severance, and then from when that expires they're free to go.
Yeah.
Everything about the way that Andrade was released or suspended and all of that has been very murky to begin with. So I think the problem is that there were people within WWE that thought that, oh, like he's done. Like him getting terminated is no different than how someone else might just have their contract expired. So, like,
Yeah.
for example, Jasmine Nix could go work anywhere else right now because her contract expired, whereas like a Wesley has to wait out the non compete for whatever reason. But I mean, the hits just keep on coming with the news because I mean, we do find out. I know at the homecoming tapings, we did have Kota Ibushi break his femur in his knee. So
Yeah.
for those who don't know, that is the hardest bone to break in your leg. He's out for a minimum of
A
2
year.
years if he
Yeah.
even returns.
Yeah. He has said that he's gonna, I mean, at least according to him, he was like, I'll return. But
I
so
mean, given
he's not exactly he's not, again, he's not old by any means, but he's not like a young, it's not like he's like a 25-year, like he's done this for a long time and he's put his body through hell for a long time. Uh he's out, yeah, it said a year for the injury to heal.
let alone the rehab and learning
Yes.
how to walk again, learning how to gain strength again. I feel like
Yes.
as I love Kota Ibushi, I think he's one of the best performers of our generation. it sucks that he's gotten the injury bug as many times as he did, especially now that he has a brand new visa with AEW. And to know that he's going to be sitting out all that time really does hurt. And then on top of that, you just compare it to like some other stuff in like mainstream sports. I'm going to use Matt Milano, linebacker for the Buffalo Bills, as an example. Seasoned veteran,
second place, Buffalo Bills.
I'm on a bye week. I don't want to fuck.
Sorry, continue.
But I'm just saying he's not known for being durable, though. Yeah, like more often than not, you see him on the IR than you see him on the field. But so it's sadly it's one of those. It's what have you done for me lately things. I don't know if Kota should come back from this, because even if he does, he would, one, be on borrowed time, and two, who's to say that he's going to be able to heal and wrestle that same style again?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, yeah, it's a major injury, which is unfortunate. And yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, I feel like it, and again, this is very in the moment that, you know, a few days after the injury, like he's going to have the mentality of like, oh yeah, I'll be all right. Like I'll do what I have to do, but I'll come back. He might think a little bit differently a year from now when he's like, oh shit, like I'm not even close to the finish line yet. And it's already been a long time, so
yeah,
things can happen. The Kota Ibushi that we all know, I would obviously think that he's going to do everything he can to try to come back and still do it, because that just seems like the type of guy he is. But sometimes the body tells the mind other things. So we'll have to see. But it's unfortunate. It's a terrible injury. He had just really come back not too long ago, and it just looked like a freak thing. It wasn't even a major bump. He just jumped off the top rope and kind of into the announce table type of thing. It's probably something he's done hundreds of times.
Honestly, I thought it would be
he's done worse.
ACL or something.
Yeah.
Like at least that we know, like, okay, it's about a year, but it's rehabable. And of course I made that analogy because Zach Minter mentioned National Sports Day before we went live.
Of course.
Got Randy on Facebook saying hello. But I mean, it's just really unfortunate because apparently Tony Khan mentioned on the media call today that he was going to be factored into some WrestleDream plans. So it's always unfortunate when somebody gets hurt, but especially someone with the value that Kota Ibushi brings to wrestling, regardless of where he is. Sure. So
yeah, and it feels like with that on top of the Andrade thing, they had 2 matches booked with, because it felt like, did it not in the moment that we were getting Andrade and Omega at WrestleDream? That was what we were going to do.
Like, that was pretty much a prime singles ready to go.
Yeah. So they lost that match immediately, and then Ibushi gets hurt and he was factored. So like, it's also like, oh shit, we have 2 straight weeks now where we have to change our plans for a pay-per-view in a couple of weeks too. So it's kind of, it's a little, obviously an unfortunate set of circumstances.
I will say, given all the plans changing, I am surprised that certain championships are not being defended on the show, because that does free up spots on the card. Yeah, I say this even though including the tailgate brawl, we still have 12 matches to talk about. But like,
sure do.
I mean, flexing out Kenny Omega versus Andrade and like not having Mercedes on there with the TBS title. I know she was just in Mexico for CMLL defending against Persephone. Officially 10 belts, Ultimo, Monet, whatever the hell we want to call her. So that's a weird omission there. I mean, obviously the trios title aren't going to be defended because you got Samoa Joe wrestling for the world title, but still, I mean, there leaves some spots open on the card that would have been nice to fill.
Oh, for sure.
You have a little bit more Ring of Honor presence, because I know obviously Bandito's part of the tag champions over here, so he's not going to be defending that title. But I mean, Athena's kind of been off of TV ever since Forbidden Door, so that would have been something there. I don't know. But nonetheless, we do have plenty to discuss as far as predictions go. I mean, we do have 4 matches announced for the Tailgate Brawl, so that is going to be our 1-hour pre-show that we get on TNT. I do like that they're doing that, like, kind of like as the unofficial second hour of Collision now. Yeah. I got to get used to them if they're going to do Go Homes being an extended Dynamite now, because that seems to be what the regular schedule is going to be. So, I mean, it's not a bad use of just pivoting TV time. It would be interesting to see if they had like maybe their traditional go home episodes of Dynamite and Collision on top of that extra hour. But I mean, that's a Warner Brothers thing more than an AEW thing.
For sure. Yeah. 100%.
But let's get things on the predictions bandwagon. We're going to start with FTR versus Jet Speed, because we've been seeing more of this over the last few weeks. That banger of an intergender 6-person tag that we got on Collision with Megan Bayne and Willow Nightingale involved. I'm calling it intergender. They called it a mixed tag. No, everybody was bumping for everybody.
Yeah, everybody was doing everything. Everybody.
Yeah, it was a great trios match. Honestly.
Very good. Very good. I mean, this is going to be spectacular. Kind of shocked it's on the pre-show. If I'm being honest, Like, I feel like this is a tag match that is obviously good enough to make the main card. When you look at the main, I get it, but it just feels like these two acts are. I don't want to come off as saying like
not
the wrong
that
thing.
they're above the pre-show, but it's seeing the way that they were billed at All Out and they were integral to the main show.
Yeah,
it does kind of feel like a step back, but the counterpoint to that is everybody can watch the pre-show if they have TNT or if they have Max,
and then I assume
to buy the pay-per-view.
Agreed. This match is going to be quite good. Mm-hmm. I think Jet Speed needs a big win, and I feel like this is a good opportunity to give them a big win. A loss here does not hurt FTR at all because they are FTR, especially if it's a competitive, terrific match like I expect this to be. Yeah. I'm leaning Jet Speed here, but I think this match is going to be like, even though it's on the pre-show, this should be one of the top matches of the night.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely going to be very entertaining to watch. I feel like I would love Jet Speed to win. I feel like them losing in that ladder match does kind of stink a little bit, but however, knowing the way that FTR and everything that played out coming out of All Out, I kind of think they need to keep winning just so they can get more invested into getting the tag titles back. So
it's fair. That's fair.
While I love Jet Speed, I feel like I got to go FTR in this one.
Okay.
Especially now that Adam Copeland's off doing whatever he's doing with Percy. Yeah. Christian Cage, who knows where the hell he is, but it does seem very much like FTR is probably going to be poised for something in Full Gear with the tag titles.
Going for the tag titles. I mean, it makes sense for them to head that way. They haven't had them in a little bit now. Like, and then if I almost called him Edge and Christian, but if Copeland and Christian are going to continue with them, if they're the tag champs by the time Adam Copeland comes back and we get to run that back and they win, they're going for the tag titles now. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So.
And then on to another match on the Tailgate Brawl that's a bit more predictable. It's just Eddie Kingston and Hook versus To Be Announced. I wonder who's going to win.
Yeah, I would think Eddie Kingston and Hook will win whoever they face. But do you have even any guesses of who this could be?
I think it's a squash match. It's probably going to be the Fraternity.
Yeah, that would make
sense. Probably Griff
Garrison
and Cole Carter.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Because you're not going to do anything too gigantic on the pre-show. Like as far as like somebody super duper new or a return of sorts. Like I don't think they'll do anything major. But yeah, it's probably going to be some sort of that. But yeah, Eddie Kingston and Hook will win, and they'll continue to. How do you feel about this pairing so far?
Not for me.
Yeah, is it fitting in for you? Does it feel like it's like? Does it feel or like they would actually do this if they weren't booked? You know what I mean?
I mean, they're both New Yorkers, but that's really like the only synergy I get. I feel like they both should be in singles quest right now.
Yeah, I feel like Eddie Kingston returning, and this isn't a thing on Hook, because I actually think Hook has a lot of promise, and I like Hook. Mm-hmm. But Eddie Kingston getting that big return and then immediately kind of just getting put in a tag team feels like not the vibe. Like it felt like Eddie Kingston should be coming back in a top program immediately, going after Moxley or going after something. Like that's just what. I mean, he's one of the most beloved guys. His return, I mean me, had been anxiously awaiting his return, and then just to kind of see him just kind of shoved on a tag team, it's like, I kind of wanted Eddie to be involved with things higher on the totem pole. Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like his return didn't really do anything for me at All Out, because you have him go against Big Bill and like, okay, what does that accomplish? Like, if you make a big deal out of Eddie's return, you don't just randomly announce it a couple weeks before the show. He isn't even on Dynamite, and then on top of that, you have him go against I mean, I say this affectionately, but in the AEW zeitgeist, Big Bill is a jabroni. But you have him go over there, like you have him like beat him, not necessarily the cleanest way, because you have him get beat down post-match and everything. Hook comes out, makes the save, and then you just have them kind of thrown together. It doesn't feel like there's actual cohesion as a tag team or any sort of stable unit. It kind of feels like we're biding time for the C2 to roll around, and both of them are going to declare entry.
Yeah, it would make sense. It would make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to beat whoever these two guys are. So
yeah, so everybody should be going 1-12 in their predictions, I hope.
At least, at the very least.
Yeah. On the women's side of things, we have Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale going against Divine Vanity. I'm glad they have a name now, but Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne, after Harley had a pretty good performance against Megan on Collision.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this one. I feel like Harley is going to find her partner when it comes time for the women's tag titles in Willow. And I feel like Willow being probably the one that Chris Statler's saying, like, no, like, that should be who you're working with. I have the world title. I need to focus on this. Mercedes turned her down. Willow and Harley, I feel like, have a good tandem energy together. I feel like they're going to bring out more of each other. I mean, Harley is already, like, one of the best characters they have. Willow, you can't help but to love Willow.
Oh, the best baby face they have in the company.
Besides the purest baby face, I would say.
She's easily the purest, but I think her and Hangman are the two top baby faces they like without question.
Yeah, and Orange Cassidy.
Yeah,
those three.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Harley and Willow got to win this one because, I mean, Megan won on Collision, but it feels like when we're setting up this whole tag team tournament, we already know that Penelope and Megan have been working well together for months since both of them came back to AEW. I feel like let the baby faces win here. We start to see if there's going to be a tournament, let the brackets start to fill out. You probably have Divine Vanity go all the way to the finals in this tournament, and it's probably going to be against someone like a TJ that's going to be that final matchup. But
do you think that we could see this be a finals in the tournament? Like, this is just kind of like the first match, maybe. Like, I agree with you. I do think I'm leaning Willow and Harley in this one.
I could see this being a semifinals. I don't think.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I do think that Willow and Harley will win this one. I think this is that moment because I agree with you. I do think that this is the likely pairing. I would love if Mercedes came around and, was like, you know what, Harley? Yeah, because, like, obviously that would be great. But I do think this is the pairing that they'll do if there is a tournament and all that fun stuff. But I agree with you. I'm on your side of things. I think the baby faces win.
Yeah. But that leads us into the final match that we have here. We have some 8-man tag team action. We got Roderick Strong teaming up with the Conglomeration. So we got Kyle O'Reilly. We got Orange Cassidy, Tomohiro Ishii going against the Death Riders, which is going to be Pac, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Daniel Garcia. And just a standard 8-man tag. I feel like the Death Riders are going to win.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I'm more curious to see where Roderick Strong is going to stand with the Conglomeration, just because it seems like he's still very much of the Paragon ilk with just Kyle.
Yeah.
And Kyle seems to be very much happy-go-lucky, go with the flow, all that stuff. But I don't know. I feel like it's probably going to make more sense for the Death Riders to get one win on the show, just because I don't know how the I Quit match is going to go. And this would kind of be a surefire win. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Death Riders will take care of business and win this one. So, and then we'll kind of see how the remaining Death Rider does on the main card. But yeah, I agree with you. It feels like Roddy is there for Kyle. And that's the only reason he's there. I will say, I do think Roderick Strong would actually be a very intriguing and good fit for the Death Riders. If honestly, that were something they wanted to lean into. But
if we're being real, I would have rather Roderick Strong been in the Death Riders than Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, I think Roddy. Obviously, I understand his wife is in there, but I think Roddy, regardless of that, fits the vibe of the Death Riders big time. Yes, I think he fits that vibe big time. So it could be an intriguing choice if they, because I know we're going to talk about Mox and Darby later, but they clearly leaned into potential people still joining the Death Riders So they've wanted Statlander to join. Darby said he's thought every day about joining. Okay, well, maybe somebody else that's out of that realm joins and they have a new, I could see Roddy being like, all right, I'm done with this. I love you, Kyle, but F you. And it could be intriguing if they wanted to go that route. But
yeah, especially just because it feels like they haven't really sunk their teeth into anything since Adam Cole unfortunately stepped away from the ring.
Yeah.
With still no updates about that too, which stinks. So
it's terrible.
Something serious is going on, but
yeah,
it would make for something interesting to see how the dynamics shift where Paragon is completely dissolved. But we even saw kind of when Mox had that one-on-one match with Kyle O'Reilly on DynaMic'd, and then he got to see Roderick and Marina interact on the outside where like she didn't really do anything.
Yeah,
set up Wheeler Yuta to do it instead. But yeah, no, I would be very interested to see how Roderick Strong plays into future Death Rider plans, just because obviously they are always in recruit mode. But
100%.
And there's no such thing as a small faction in AEW, as we'll talk about later. But
no,
that does lead us into the main card. I'm going to start with one of our non-title matches. We got Jamie Hayter going one-on-one with Tekla.
This is going to be good.
I'm very excited about this one. Queen of the Ring, Alex Lajas, earlier, she did her fuck-ass predictions.
Fuck-ass predictions.
And she was talking about how this kind of has some stardom lore to it with some of the stable ties. So Jamie Hayter was formerly a member of Oedo Tai, and then Takula, I forgot the stable that she was in. Hold on, let me look up the name. She was a member of Hate. So, yeah, no, I'm excited for what this has, not only just for Blood and Guts implications, but like this is like two women that really made names for themselves in Japan, finally on a Western stage, having this pay-per-view match. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it should be very good. Yeah, it should be very good. They're both, hard hitters. Like I love Tekla's intensity and how just insane, like intense and insane she is in the ring. Jamie Hayter can beat the shit out of anybody. This should be hard hitting, and the feud they've been building, and we know we're getting the blood and guts. Like this is going to be really, really good. I love a non-title women's match on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, this is the first time since I believe Saraya and Britt Baker at Full Gear 2022 that we've gotten one.
This needs to happen more often. So I love the thought of this match actually being on the main card and actually happening. I think I'm leaning Jamie Hayter.
I am as well.
That's what I'm leaning, but I think this is the one of the toughest ones to choose. I think it could go either way.
Totally go either way. I feel like you're definitely going to see Triangle of Madness get involved here, and I feel like you're going to.
I think we're going to see
some of the other baby faces come out and try to even the odds for Jamie. But I feel like both of them coming off of that loss at All Out for the women's title in the 4-way. Yeah. I feel like either one of them can get an advantage here, and then it kind of leads into how Blood and Guts is going to go because we don't know who's going to have the advantage once it comes time to get teams in the cage and everything. But
I agree.
This would probably be sleeper hit of the night, I would say.
It should be good. It should be real good. It should be real good.
Yes. Moving along, we have our rubber match. So we have a Tornado Trios match with the Hurt Syndicate and the Demand. So that is going to be Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, MVP going against Ricochet and the GOA. This should be very good. And I'm very concerned about who's going to get pinned in this one because I genuinely think it might be MVP getting pinned again.
I think that's the way you have to do it. Yeah. They had the street fight, which was a hell of a time. This is the rubber match. I feel like the Demand needs to come out on top on this feud. That's just how I feel. I just think that I knew they needed a signature win the first time when they beat them the first time. And then obviously once I knew that this was going to be a longer term feud than that, and I still think they need to come out on top of this when all is said and done. I think it should probably be like it was on the first time with Ricochet pinning MVP again. I'm leaning the Demand. I am, even though it hurts. I mean, listen, Bobby and Shelton, they could eat. I mean, would I be shocked if they won? No. At all.
No, I wouldn't be shocked either, but I feel like they might go a step further here. So you probably have Shelton and Bobby taking on the outside, and then comes down 3-on-1. So you have Toa Leona and Bishop Khan holding MVP, and then I have a feeling we're going to get some sort of submission out of this, or he passes out.
Oh, maybe
because with it being a Tornado Trios match, there's no disqualification. So whatever Ricochet wants to use to try to choke out MVP, I'm sure he's going to do. And
they could do that.
Could be the finish there.
Yeah,
and really make it even more decisive, but. Yeah, I feel like the Demand does have to win, and then this is probably going to be the nip in the bud that they need to finally go after the Trios titles.
I feel like that's where they absolutely should go after this feud, because the Hurt Syndicate isn't going to do trio stuff. MVP's not going to be regularly wrestling.
Yeah.
The Demand should be the next Trios champions, I feel like. That's a great spot for them.
I feel like right now they're the only other trio that's like truly a trio. So having them go against the Ops, it's one of those no-brainers. But yeah.
Yes, I agree, and I think they can't. I mean, they shouldn't be doing that if they come away from this with a loss. So
yeah, I wouldn't expect them to. I will say, what do you think it's going to mean for the Hurt Syndicate following this? Do we start to see some dissolution? Do we see MVP maybe go his own way and it just goes down to Bobby and Shelton? Do they all go singles routes?
I would like to see them both go singles routes. I feel like Bobby Lashley being a challenger to Hangman for the title makes sense to me. Big sense to me. And then if Shelton goes after the international, what is it now? The Unified or the TNT. Like, I feel like they can both. I feel like they can still be the Hurt business, the Hurt Syndicate. They can still be the Hurt Syndicate, but do singles things. I think Bobby Lashley should be the next, if not one of the next challengers to Hangman.
Yeah,
he's Bobby Lashley. He should be. I could see Shelton doing it too, though. But
here's my thing, and to make it more interesting. So you mentioned Shelton going like the Unified Championship route. What I would be very curious to see is after everything's settled with Okada and Takeshita, whether they have that blow off. Konosuke Takeshita is the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
Sure is. I wouldn't mind Shelton going after that either.
I feel like Shelton should go after that, given that he has history in New Japan, 1.
Yeah.
And 2, he's still yet to win a world championship in pro wrestling to this day. I feel like him going after the IWGP, not only is that perfect for him to finally have his first. I mean, Bandito, he's stuck doing tag team stuff. Yes, he also has history in Ring of Honor, so that could have been cool too. But I feel like Shelton having the IWGP championship going into Wrestle Kingdom would be fucking awesome.
Oh my God, it would be. It'd be incredible. I would love that. Yeah, I would like both of these gentlemen because they don't have to go after the tag belts again. They won them. They held them for a long time. That is unnecessary. If you want to, fine, but they don't need to do that. You have these two guys. They're clearly more well-known for singles competition. It just makes sense for me to them to keep as a group. MVP can just manage the group, manage them singly, kind of like Don Callis does when he comes out for all his different guys, and then they can do their stuff together, but still, do their own thing. It just makes sense to me.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I'm all here for the single side quests of the Hurt Syndicate. Moving along, it's not for a championship, but there's a little bit of a bounty on this one. We have to up it a little bit. Well, actually, no, we're not upping it. It's exactly the same amount as it was before. The only difference is that it's just one tag team instead of it being a 10-man tag. But we have the Young Bucks going against Jurassic Express with the winning team winning $500 or $500,000.
This will be great. This will be great. The Young Bucks are feeling it. I think they've been doing some of their best work. This iteration of the Bucks.
Yeah.
But to me, Jurassic Express just returned, just had that moment. They're winning this match. Oh, yeah. But that doesn't mean, and I think this is one of the easier picks on the card, in my opinion. But I expect this to be as the kids say, a banger. Jose, this is going to be incredible stuff. But Jurassic Express all day for me.
And now we're also getting to the point where, yes, we still are like tying up some of the other loose ends with obviously Jack Perry's past with Kenny Omega. We got to see them kind of on the same page this past week on Dynamite. So maybe that could factor into future plans as well. But I mean, the Bucks, you already had them do like the whole, hey, we got money again and we blew it all in the casino. Like there's not really much of a story for them to tell with them having it a second time. So I feel like definitely keep Jurassic Express's momentum going, and then I would love to see them double down on the Young Bucks having nothing, and I mean truly nothing.
I would love that.
You could decide if you want to do like a rags to riches, like organically, where they work their way back up from the bottom of the card. I would love to see them. Gosh, I wish AEW Dark was still a thing.
Yeah,
because that would have been a perfect spot for them. Or maybe you just have them go to Ring of Honor and they go after those tag titles, and then. You know what? I have an idea. You do have them go back to Ring of Honor. You have them do a Proving Ground match. Then you have them win the ROH tag titles. Because, I mean, we got to see MJF and Adam Cole do it. It's nothing if the Young Bucks have it. Let them prove themselves in Ring of Honor, start to earn more money again. So that way, when they are finally drop them, they can be back to closer to what we know the Young Bucks to have been. Like Super Kick Party, like being the elite, all that jazz. Where they actually have a little bit more of a budget for it. And then you could have them go back after the AEW tag titles. But... yeah, that's just my 2 cents.
That'd be fun.
And give Ring of Honor something to fucking do. Come on.
That's my thing. That would be the only thing is like, I don't know if they care enough about Ring of Honor to send they did it before with Adam Cole, but I felt,
why the hell not?
Yeah, I felt like they had more care about the Ring of Honor product when they were doing that with Adam Cole and MJF, where I feel like now it's just blatant that it's like we barely put effort into this, sadly.
I mean, not wrong. That does lead us into, we just mentioned this, the AEW World Tag Team Championship. You got ROH World Champion Bandito, Brody King, Brodito, going against the Unified Champion in Kazuchika Okada and the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Konosuke Takeshita after that double bounty match they had at a homecoming episode of Dynamite. There is not a snowball's chance in hell that Brodito's losing this match.
Nope. This is another match that will be quite incredible. with these four gentlemen in the
Predictable
ring.
as fuck, but incredible.
Oh yeah, there obviously is going to be some dissension at some point between Okada and Takeshita. We saw last night when they were celebrating Don's birthday that Takeshita was on the board with the message from Japan, and Okada turned the TV off. You know, there's clearly been issues here, and I thought they were going to have the one-on-one match here at this show, but it's clear. I agree, but it's clear that it's going to be happening at a future date, whether that's the next pay-per-view or it has to be, I would think, but it is going to, I don't know who, I don't know if it's Okada that walks out on Takeshita or something's going to happen. They're going to get physical. They're going to come to blows, or I could see Okada walking out and Brodito will capitalize and win. But yeah, this is Brodito again, like I said, all day.
And there's nothing wrong with that either. But I mean,
nope.
Full Gear, they're doing it at the Prudential Center in New Jersey again, which is going to be the biggest arena they probably have for the rest of the year. A match like Okada versus Takeshita for the unified title, or maybe you do both titles on the line, you do a double title match. That would be a match that could fill an arena that size on top of everything else you're going to have on that show. I would feel like that should be a Full Gear match. We will see if it is. But yeah, no, the champions retain here.
Yep, I agree.
And we're all going to have a great time watching it.
Absolutely.
Now, on to a match that I know will be great. It's probably going to be pretty hard to watch considering the lengths that both of these bastards go to.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
But it is time for the I Quit match, Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin. Somebody might die.
I was literally going to say that Jon Moxley might kill Darby Allin. We've seen what they've done. They've ripped each other's ears. We know how gross and to what extent that both these gentlemen will do to other people and do to themselves. They are violent as two wrestlers. And I get it. I'm not, this death match guy, but you know what I mean. They are as gruesome and violent. Darby takes.
I'd say they're up there with like the Nick Gages and like
they
the
are.
Terry Funks
They
of
are.
the world.
And Darby has taken some of the nastiest spills and bumps since AEW has started that we've ever seen.
And the worst part is I feel like we haven't seen anything yet.
Correct. And I'm sorry, that between you and me, I thought Dynamite was okay at best last night, but this segment that they did last night in the prison glass was
was the highlight of the whole show.
Incredible segment. Yes. And I just loved everything about it. They are one of these guys might have to literally kill the other. And Moxley even said it. He goes, "You're not going to say I quit. We know that I'm not going to say I quit. So what are we doing here? What are we going to do here?"
I'd be very curious to see what level of humanity they want to add to this match. Because the Death Riders aren't going to let Moxley quit.
Oh, of course not.
Whoever is rolling with Darby Allin isn't going to let him quit.
Mm-hmm.
What if it comes down to, of all people, Renee Paquette throwing in the towel for her husband?
You think? I think they would actually do that and like get her involved. Like, obviously she's involved in the show, duh. But do you think they would actually like have her get involved in an actual like angle of the show?
Well, think about it, because people have been telling her to tell her husband certain things backstage.
It's true.
So it's not a secret that they're together.
Oh, of course not.
But I feel like for the levels that we know that both of them are going to for an I Quit match, I almost feel like it has to be an external factor that's going to either get someone to say it or they do it on their behalf, just because you got to think long term. I'm
just like, what could they like? What more can they do? Like, besides actually, I also love Darby bringing up like the whole reason I'm like this is because of Danielson.
Yeah.
And the way that they mentioned Danielson, and he was like, this is how I feel because of that. We're
probably going to see Darby try to suffocate him in a plastic bag.
Yeah. I also feel like there's a chance that Danielson gets involved here because they mentioned him so much at the beginning of, that's the way that he was brought up in that segment last night and the extent that they talked, because they both talked about him for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, is he gonna, because we know the Death Riders are going to get involved.
Yeah.
And so is it like, okay, like that means that Danielson might come out and be on the side of Dark, try to even up the odds. And like, I expect, it's going to be violent as fuck, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. I just think it's going to be another one of us going like, oh no, something like, what do you do?
I feel like Darby has to win. The one I feel like the one bump that we're going to get is, remember, this is going to be a throwback. I think it was like SmackDown in 2003, where Big Show chokeslammed Kurt Angle from like the balcony onto cement.
Yeah.
I feel like Darby's going to try to take a cement bump from some sort of elevation.
Oh my God. I don't know, man. I wouldn't be shocked. Like, it's something gnarly is going to happen. And if it's probably going to be, look good. It's probably going to be, I feel like of these two guys, Moxley, Darby will take the big fall. He has no problem taking like big falls or doing something crazy like that. Whereas Moxley is more of the guy of like, yeah, you can stick that barbed wire, in my, you can, that bed of nails, you can suplex me on it.
Like Darby's about
I mean?
The impact, whereas Moxley's about like, I don't want to.
You can rip my forehead open with a fork. You can do that. You can rip my ear off.
Yeah, Mox is more about evisceration.
Like. Yes. Whereas Darby's like, you can choke slam me off the balcony to the ring. I'm fine with that. Like, that is more of a Darby. Like, I'm trying to think of like, does Darby get thrown off the top of the stage? Like, what the fuck happens here? Like something crazy.
He's going to take a backbreaker onto the top of the ring post.
Like something not, it's going to be, oh boy.
I don't know.
Oh boy. But I agree with you. I do think Darby needs to win this match.
Yeah.
So
I would be genuinely surprised if he doesn't at this point, considering I thought he was a shoo-in to win that coffin match. Little did we know that Pac was going to come back in the way that he did. But yeah, no, it has to end at WrestleDream with Darby with his hand raised.
I agree.
That does lead us into our singles championship matches for the night. So up first, we have the TNT championship match with the Protostar, Kyle Fletcher, defending against Mark Briscoe, who's going after his first singles championship in AEW. Do we think this is where he gets it done?
I would love him to, but no. I think Kyle Fletcher will remain the TNT champion for a little bit longer. I do think, look, they had that great match. He had that great match with Hangman, and he clearly proved that he should be at the top of the card. But I don't think Hangman's losing that belt anytime soon. So I think this is a real good spot for Fletcher. I expect this match to be very good as well. I think we're going to get a few near falls where we're all going to believe, holy shit, Briscoe's going to do it. But I think at the end of the day, Fletcher will retain once again. I would love Briscoe to win, though. I would love him to win.
I think my bigger problem is now there's too much of a reliance on the Don Callis family, especially because they're clearly adding more people. They added Andrade, who's probably going to be off of TV now. They have the clone still there. I feel like at some point you got to move the needle to like, okay, we have a little bit of dissension with Takeshita and Okada. I feel like there has to be some sort of infighting because as long as Okada has the unified championship, if something happens where Kyle Fletcher is going to lose the TNT title, you mean to tell me he's not going to go after pretty much the next biggest prize in AEW being the unified championship, regardless of who's holding it?
I agree.
I feel like if Mark Briscoe wins here, which I think he actually does have a chance,
I agree.
I feel like you got to start with not the complete dissolution of the Don Callis family, but you got to start thinking like, okay, clearly this isn't going to last forever, especially if we have like upwards of like 7 or 8 members in there. We need to get down to brass tacks. Who's going to stay in the DCF? Who can walk on their own? And who's going to be the one to put whoever over?
Yeah, I agree. I do think there needs to be some, and we're already seeing it. There's people in the group that have dissension with Okada and Takeshita. Then I agree. I do think Mark Briscoe has a legitimate chance to win this match. I just, if you're making me pick, I'm leaning Fletcher still. But I do think Briscoe has a legitimate chance. And I do think if Briscoe loses this match, then where does Mark Briscoe go? You know what I mean? Because they kind of have been raising him up and like getting him close. He had that great feud with MJ. They put him in position to win a match like this. But I don't know. I would love it to happen though. I really would. I have an affinity for Mark Briscoe. You know what? I'm going to double down. I think he's going to get it done. Good. I would love it. I'm not going to change my pick. Yeah. But I would love it. This would be one I would happily be wrong. I would happily be okay being wrong. I feel like we haven't had a good upset in a while, and I feel like this is going to be the one to do it. Yeah, that'd be fun. All right, that does lead us into presumably the semi-main event for the show, but we have the Women's World Championship. Chris Statlander, the new champion, against the former champion, Timeless Toni Storm.
for the first time ever in singles action. We've gotten to see the promos over the last few weeks. We got to see them interact in the ring more. I am giddy as a clam knowing that this is going to happen because it's going to be pretty fucking good.
This is going to be, incredible. This should be one of, if not match of the night. This is going to be really good. I've really liked the promos we've seen the last couple weeks. I loved how the show started last night with them kind of having that, I like the undertone of kind of like, it's probably the wrong word, but the undertone of like sexiness involved. That's probably the wrong word.
The undertone of this match tells me that this is for the flannel wearing Subaru driving fans, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, there's like a vibe to it that and I dig it. And I love that promo last night where they had the back and forth for a split second where they were getting in each other's face. And then they were like, meet me in the ring. And they just brawled. And I just thought that was a really good segment. I've loved the promos. This is going to be incredible. But this is one of those matches where even though it's Toni Storm, I would be shocked if Toni Storm wins. Statlander's going to retain. She's holding this belt.
Statlander's retaining this one too. But definitely the sapphic undertones throughout everything going on. Like, it makes for an interesting like story element of it, but the actual wrestling, it's going to be phenomenal. And I think Chris Statlander's going to have one hell of a title defense on pay-per-view.
I agree. And I'm excited to see where they both go after this, because obviously Toni losing in the 4-way, even though it was her that lost, but her losing in the 4-way, then they run it back with the 1-on-1 and Toni gets her 1-on-1 opportunity and losing. We've talked about it a little bit on the after show, especially after the last pay-per-view when it happened. Toni hasn't been a heel in this, but there's been small changes to the character. Where there's a little bit more of that in there. So I'm excited to see where Statlander goes as champion after she's done with Toni, where that leads, because there's a lot of avenues that could be cool for her going that route. And then what they do with Toni. Do they lean more into her getting darker and dreary and more maybe depressed without the belt, or does she turn heel down the line maybe? Like, I'm interested to see where they both go after this as well.
Yeah, I feel like if anything, we might be nearing the end of the timeless era of Toni.
Yeah, like a new iteration or something.
But I don't think she's going back to like the rocker that we knew from before either. I feel like it's going to be something new, something probably more of the time. So like thinking like, okay, what's big right now that we could get her to sink her character work into that would make sense for like a more sinister version of Toni Storm, whether it's face or heel. But yeah. I feel like the days of timeless are slowly approaching their dramatic conclusion. But
I agree.
Nonetheless, this will be a tremendous match. I have no issue with Chris Statlander retaining here.
I agree. I think it will be one of easily could be match of the night.
I mean, we say match of the night, but the problem is that when you have two really good world champions and you have two really good challengers for those world champions, quite literally anything could be match of the night. But what is going to probably be the main event of WrestleDream, we have our men's world championship on the line. Hangman Adam Page defending against 1/3 of the trio's world champions in Samoa Joe. This one is also going to be very, very good. I love when Samoa Joe is in a world title match because you see the asshole completely come out. He's fighting harder. He's hitting harder. Like Samoa Joe in a big match is always a treat. You will never see me complain about Samoa Joe in a big match.
No, one of the all-time greats.
Yep.
One of the all-time greats, Samoa Joe. I think, man. And, he's been doing the interview circuit this week, and people have started to ask him, like, hey, how much longer do you think you got with this? And kind of stuff like that. And it's just like, he's been doing this for a long time, and he's been real good for a long time. And you can put him anywhere. You can put him in the trios, have him do that. He's great at it. You can shoot him up to a main event spot on a show for a one-off like this is, and it's going to deliver. He's going to deliver. The back and forth promo they had last week on Dynamite was excellent. Him and Hangman to start that show. This is going to be really, really good. But again, Hangman's not losing this belt at all. But they're going to beat the shit out of each other, man. Hangman's going to get his ass kicked by Samoa Joe.
Oh, my God. No, I feel like this is going to be Hangman's coming out party for this reign, where he's going to get his ass kicked, but he's going to kick his ass back just as hard.
Yep. Yeah, they're going to beat the crap out of each other, and it's going to be lovely.
And he finally gets that win over Samoa Joe that's eluded him his whole career so far. So.
Correct. This should be, it's AEW putting out another pay-per-view with a super duper strong card. And like you said, when you have these two world champions, you're going to get, I didn't even mean to do that, but you're going to get Dynamite World Championship matches, and these two deliver. They deliver. And Hangman has the matches he has put on over the last couple of years, but specifically the few since he's been champion, and even leading into it, like you put him in this spot and he always delivers as well. This is going to be incredible.
Yeah, no, and I feel like especially with AEW, the way they do those cards, you could sense the one-upsmanship between every match. It's like, okay, top that. Okay, top that. It doesn't feel like they're trying to have like things like simmer for a little bit. They always try to keep that big crescendo going until when you get to the end of the show, it's like, oh God, what did we just see? Like that really was like the perfect way to close out the show, but everything kept getting better and better as the night went on. Like, I feel like this is going to be one of those pay-per-views for AEW where like they continue their string, not only having a solid show, but I feel like this one's going to be like proof that like, hey, when you don't have to worry about competition on the same weekend just for merely existing, you get to focus more on, okay, how can we make this the best it can be? And this is going to be one of those cards where it feels like you have all of these major elements coming together to make something that's going to be magical. And I'm very excited for this one on Saturday.
I agree. Should be excellent.
Yes, that is everything we have as far as predictions go for WrestleDream. I am very excited for this weekend. Feels like it's going to be a very good weekend full of professional wrestling. But
it should be.
Yeah, I know. JPJ, what do you have going on tomorrow?
Well,
I mean, not tomorrow.
Tonight.
Thursday.
Today's Thursday.
And about an hour and a half, if that.
Yeah, a little bit over an hour from now at 8 p.m. Eastern time over on Love Wrestling. Me and Pluggo are doing Between Two Beards. It's the flagship show over there. And we got Fightful's Joel Pearl joining us tonight to talk a little TNA. Pluggo was in my neck of the woods over the weekend for Bound for Glory. We got to go to that show. So we're going to talk about the weekend. We're going to talk about Bound for Glory. We're going to talk
about the Sabres beating the Senators 8-4.
I will mention it. I can mention that for you. Joel Pearl, lifelong. I don't know if that's a good thing or, unfortunate, but a lifelong Ottawa Senators fan. I will bring that up. But yeah, we're going to talk a little Bound for Glory. We're going to obviously talk some more WrestleDream. It should be a fun time. Starts 8 p.m. Eastern over on Love Wrestling CA. So come on by, hang out with us and Joel, and hear me talk some more pro wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys want a little pregame of this episode of Beards, I know last week myself and Auntie Collins got the band back together. We hijacked the intro to Between Two Beards, and we were just talking all sorts of nonsense with Pluggo and JPJ.
Yeah, that was a good time. Yeah,
great time. You might see a little Easter egg behind me. More about that in the coming weeks, but it's also looking like we might be talking about some predictions for WrestleDream again. So the easiest thing to do is to stay tuned to socials. Jose on the air at JPJ Loves Gaming. I'll probably be streaming myself this weekend as well too. So twitch.tv/Jose in the air. Got the Valorant bug again, so don't mind me playing some FPS games pretty badly. I mean, my old motto for fuck's sake used to be "can't aim, still games." So
yeah, I like it.
Clearly, nothing's changed in almost 6 years. So hey. I'll take it.
Yeah, right.
But nonetheless, it is so good to still see you guys here. We should be back to our regular time slot next week, Wednesday, after AEW Dynamite for more DynaMic'd Up. The best way to make sure that you are staying in tune with everything here at bodyslam.net is to just follow our socials. I mean, you got bodyslam.net on Twitter, on Instagram, all that stuff. We have our Patreon, bodyslam, PWN on Patreon. Corey Hayes making all of the best.
Breaking big news.
Oh my God, he's been on a roll lately too.
Yes, he has. He has. Doing great work.
Yeah, I mean, for $5. So, I mean, either don't leave your house and you get some really good wrestling news, or you find some pretty subpar fast food. I mean, one's going to keep you satiated for a month. One's going to keep you satiated for about 3 minutes. Then you go back through the drive-thru again. But
yeah,
that is all up to you. But yes, no, bodyslam.net on Twitter, bodyslam.net MMA, all that fun stuff. And we will see you guys next week for more DynaMic'd Up. So until then, take care, everybody.